Hi guys, welcome to Chasing a Murder. Today I wanted to kind of go over some of the information that's coming out attached to the Vallow and Chad Daybell case. It's very emotional stuff. It's very raw and very shocking, very disappointing, and very horrendous, to be honest. And there's going to be a little bit of details in here. If you're sensitive, you might not want to watch. And I think what I want to talk about is the fact that how a lot of people are still shocked by Lori Vallow's actions and how they didn't see it coming when they should have. It has been 3 years since we heard about this Doomsday Mom case. Many people have waited to see justice come in for Lori and Chad, and they are accused of taking at least 4 lives, and 2 of them being Lori's own children. Those children being J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan. So these 2 people, they have destroyed many people, many groups, many families, and they did it all in just under a year. And for a long time, 3 out of the 4 deaths attached to this case, well, they didn't even know what happened. That is until today. Today we are learning what they're finding out when it comes to the cause of death for a few of the victims. Charles Vallow, we know, was shot by Lori Vallow's brother, Alex Cox. We know how JJ was found, and we know how Tylee was found, and we know how Tammy Daybell was found, but we had no clue as to how their lives were taken. Nate Eaton from East Idaho News tweeted that 7-year-old at the time, J.J. Vallow, most likely died because of asphyxiation, possibly a bag over his head. As for Tylee Ryan, they could only say that she had died by homicide. They couldn't determine the cause of death, and most of us know why. The way that she was found, she was charred, she was melted, she was in a bucket, she was in the dirt, she was just treated so inhumane. And we'll talk more about this in a little bit. Yesterday we learned that Summer Shiflet, which is Lori's sister, had actually made a phone call to her sister while she was in jail. In this audio, you can hear in Summer's voice, she is just packed with all kinds of uncontrollable emotions. That includes anger, fear, disappointment, disbelief, shock, and questions. She couldn't understand how her sister could do this dark deed, and how could she do it to her own children most of all. You could hear the disbelief in Summer's voice, and she's asking her sister, why, how, why? And the thing is she still, though she's talking to her sister, and she grew up with her sister her entire life, she couldn't see it or hear it. The lack of remorse, the lack of emotion, as Lori explained that she couldn't tell her anything because she was in jail. And how Summer just couldn't understand because the media is telling all the story of what happened, and of course they're lying. Lori's baby girl, Tylee Ryan, was in pieces, melted, charred, and dismembered. No one has seen her shed a tear or even describe any type of remorse or the fact that she even missed her children. But she tried to turn the tables and make Summer realize that she's the victim. Summer's not the victim. Lori's the victim. No one has seen what I have been through, she said. No one's seen me crying on the floor. So I'm going to play some of this audio. I debated whether to do it or not, but my mind is so forgetful. In order to kind of do commentary, we're going to have to play the audio. Just before this audio was played, though, Summer testified that she and her sister Lori, well, they were very close. But it was around December of 2019 that they're not really talking much. And by February of 2019, Lori talks to Summer and tells her sister that her kids are safe. Everybody's looking for her kids. And finally, Summer gets a hold of her sister, and her sister promises that the kids are safe and well. But on June 9th, no one will ever forget this, they find these kids in the backyard of Lori's new husband, Chad Daybell, one in a pet cemetery and the other by a pond. This phone call is from June 24th of 2020. Lori requested that Summer give her a call, and immediately Summer is emotional. So the court plays the audio, and it forces Summer to relive one of the darkest moments of her entire life. It was the day that she sort of realized that Lori could care less about her children, much less anyone else. But my research has showed me that Lori's never really carried much emotion. She's never really loved anyone. Not that she didn't want to, she just didn't. And I believe the reason why she was so close to God and always seeking God so intensely was she was trying to find a way to connect like normal people do. That's my opinion based off of what I know, what I've learned. I mean, I really do think Lori wanted to be seen as loving and compassionate, but she just couldn't do it. I mean, she made the motion. She would give people money, but she didn't realize that the money that she was spending, the bank account's getting low, and Charles is saying, hey, hold on, don't spend that money. Lori couldn't even understand that, much less anything else. I think where people are missing here is Lori really struggles to understand the simple things that most people understand well. Most of all, she just can't understand pain, remorse, sadness, love. And the closest she got to that was Charles. I mean, Charles was the only one able to get through to her for so many years. Okay, let's go ahead and play this very sad audio. Actually, first, let me play this first.
Good morning, Ms. Shiflet.
Good morning.
Can I please have you state your full name and spell your last name for the record?
Summer Shiflet, Shiflet.
Ms. Shiflet, how do you know the defendant in this case?
She's my sister.
Lori Vallow Daybell. You're fine.
She's my sister.
And is she your older sister?
Yes.
And this is obvious without asking, Ms. Shiflet, but can I have you clarify for the record how that makes you related to J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan?
Tylee and J.J. were my niece and nephew.
And did you...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ms. Shiflet, if you don't mind.
When were you first made aware that your niece and nephew were missing?
I think through the media, but probably December of 2019.
And at that time, December of 2019, were you in contact with your sister?
No.
Were you aware of where she was located at that time?
No.
Ms. Shiflet, have you had a close relationship with your sister?
Yes.
At some point, did you talk to your sister and ask her about JJ and Tylee's well-being?
Yes. I think our first contact was in February of 2019 after she had been arrested.
And what did she tell you about JJ and Tylee?
I don't remember the exact wording, but she basically told me that she was aware of where they were and that they were safe.
All right, let's pause there for a second. So let's imagine that this is you and your family and your closest sibling that who you're closest to. Imagine that you're going through this and you're finding out, they're being accused of something quite dark. You ask them a question, you say, well, do you know where the kids are? And they tell you, yes, we do. And a lot of us didn't know this family because so many wacky people were involved. You didn't know whether to trust Summer and them or not. But also, we didn't know that, we kept hearing Summer has some parts to play in this. She was pretty close with Lori. How could she not know? So it made it very difficult. A lot of people were attacking Summer during this time. I did not. But there were times that I was wondering, how much does she really know? She's going to the Preparing the People conference too. But just remember, she knows the relationship. She knows what's going on. We don't. So imagine your sibling telling you, okay, well, these kids are safe. You're most likely going to want to trust that sibling. And it's after this that she goes on TV. She says, the kids are safe, and the kids are safe. And then I remember Janice Cox saying, I don't know why she's not just taking a picture of the kids and showing them. It's so easy. She's just, I don't know. Because they were in denial. They did not ever see Lori as being capable of doing such bad things. So anyways, let's go ahead and continue.
Ms. Shiflet, fair to say that you trusted what she told you?
Yes.
You believed your sister when she stated to you that JJ and Tylee were safe?
Yes.
I'm going to draw your attention to early June of 2020, when JJ and Tylee's bodies were found. You testified that you trusted your sister. After the discovery of JJ and Tylee, did that change?
Yes.
So that June 9th, everyone, including East Idaho News, anybody that was covering this case, they were keeping an eye on the property at Chad Daybell because they knew most likely the police were about to uncover something. And those that were following this case were wondering, is this really happening right now? Because they really felt as though these two were getting away with everything. Lori was the only one behind bars and Chad was running around free. Then the blue tints come out, and those of you that follow crime know what that means. Investigators discover a gruesome sight, okay? It was just not what everybody hoped to find. Kids are gone. Lives gone. A lot of people were, this is what we expected, but it was hard to believe. I couldn't sleep. I really just couldn't sleep for days. And still to this day, there's just the lack of justice makes it difficult for people to rest that follow this case. The kids have not been laid to rest yet. Anyway, Summer learns the truth. And there were a lot of people waiting to tell Summer, I told you so. And she knew it. So she had to put out a statement apologizing to the public. She didn't owe the public anything. She was trying to do the right thing and trust that her sister would not do something so devastating to her own children. Summer becomes unhinged. And when Lori asked for Summer to contact her at the jail, Summer's had a few days to sit on everything that she learned, but that emotion just really come to the surface, and you'll hear it in the audio. And anyways, here it goes. Lori's lack of complete emotion here, understanding that her sister's in a lot of pain and that her kids are no longer here, it just shows you that she's not able to make the normal bonds and emotions that other people have, sadly. So Summer just asked Lori, did you know the kids were there? And Lori says, her response is, I can't talk about it. Why can't she talk about it? Well, she's basically saying, I know that they're there, but I can't tell you why. But it seems for her, there's a good reason, and Summer really shouldn't be worried about it. The fact that Lori truly believes everything that she's saying, that's concerning. And so here's the hard part, and this is probably why Lori is the way that she is too, is the family wants to believe in Lori, and they've always been there for her, always. They would do anything she asked. They're a very supportive family to Lori. Summer is searching for anything to make this not be true, but sadly, it's difficult to come to terms when you believe that your sister's something she's not. Lori's fooled them for a very long time. The woman that is usually easygoing, that they know, that can handle anything and everything, was fake. And Summer is completely confused because she knows the kids are no longer here. She knows Lori knows about it because she's basically saying so. But she just can't believe it 100% yet. It just doesn't make sense to Summer. And the rational side of her that says this is not okay is going to break through shortly. Summer is desperately reaching out to her sister to save her and to help her understand why this happened and how. Lori doesn't think that way, so she doesn't care. The only thing she's thinking about is, I'm right. That's all that matters. So don't worry about it. That's very heartbreaking. She says, obviously, I don't know you because the person I thought you were would never do this. She's coming to terms that maybe this Lori that she thought she knew was never that Lori. That there's parts of her that's still holding on to the Lori that she loves so deeply.
That's correct.
only thing that Lori really responds to is anything that attacks her character. When she says, Lori, you didn't want him anymore, everybody knows that Lori didn't want her kids any longer. Several witnesses had said that she had complained about the kids were getting in the way of her mission. And Lori tells her, that's what you think? As if that's not truthful. You're full of it. Summer's a liar. Lori's like, how could you ever picture me this way? She's absolutely just manipulating like she always does. Doesn't care about anything but how people view her. Anyways, it was very hard to listen to. It still is. I am so agitated with how selfish this woman is. Let's say that she does have some type of mental problem that is preventing her from acting like a normal person and experiencing emotions normally. It still doesn't, she's very narcissistic. She's about Lori. The topic is about the kids are no longer here, and she's worried about her character. Summer's fighting with her own emotions here, and at this point, she's really getting angry. Okay, I'm not going to play any more of this audio. I just wanted to do a little bit of it. You can go check it out at East Idaho News. Watch the rest of it. But Summer's pain is so intense here. I wish I could take it away for her. And she says, her brother Alex is involved with this too. She says Alex died. Basically, good. I'm glad he's dead for what he's done if he took part in this. And what people don't realize is Lori was manipulating Alex Cox too. She was making him do things. Of course, he was an adult too. He could have said no, right? But there was a witness that says that she was out there arguing and telling him that he was deceiving the family by not doing what she asked. And when he died, she had no remorse for that either. She could care less. Anybody that has died around Lori, Charles, her husband, for years and years, there's absolutely no emotion, guys. She has none, and that's what people fail to understand. If you can't understand what it's like to love somebody, how are you going to miss somebody? And a lot of her family is in denial about that as well. I mean, they really thought they loved her. She seemed to love them. But the truth of the matter is, at least for me, studying Lori, the signs were there the entire time. Her relationships, they came quickly, they left quickly. The only relationship she was in for a very long time was with Charles Vallow. Somehow Charles Vallow was able to reach Lori, unlike a lot of other people. And Charles Vallow was one of the only people that truly loved Lori for who she was. And a lot of people are completely shocked, how they're finding out, how disconnected she is from her own children. And I see it all the time. I see these parents every day. They're making emotions as a parent. They'll see the kids crying. They don't understand what to do for them. They're lost and they're very upset. They're not upset because the child's been hurt or needs attention. They're upset because they're annoyed because they don't know what to do. They don't scream, they don't yell, they don't complain. They just sit there quietly. It happens a lot. And, sadly, this is one of those cases. Of course, that's my opinion. Make sure you guys drop your idea below. This case has really been getting to me lately. I've done it for years and it's not been bothering me like it has this week, especially. I may take a break from it a day or two. Y'all know how I do this. I feel like that right now, and maybe an hour from now, I might change my mind. But I would love to know what you guys feel, especially since I'm hoping, I can't imagine what Kay and are going through, other family members finding out. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to talk about this, how they say JJ might have been, his life was taken. They even mentioned the fact that there may be some drugs in the system, but this is something that your body can produce naturally. So they really couldn't tell, what was going on with that. And I haven't had time to look deeper into that right now. And as if this case wasn't bad enough already. I mean, you took the lives of the kids, but possibly putting a bag over a child's head? Are you kidding me? This picture right here shows you the smirk we've had to put up with from this crazy woman for years. As we find out more and more details, she should be ashamed of herself. She should not be smirking and smiling and laughing and joking. Those tactics worked in high school. You're not in high school anymore, sweetie. And I wonder how the heck her defense attorneys are handling this, because they know now, if we know now, that she is basically saying, yeah, I know the kids are no longer here. What she's saying behind closed doors. Are they seeing how disconnected and how cold this woman really is? And how will they handle that? They have to represent her no matter what. And I just don't know how defense attorneys do what they do and how they represent people like Lori. How do you sleep with yourself at night? That's what I'm wondering. Not certain how many people knew how JJ, his life was taken. But if they all found out today like the rest of us, I can imagine that what was already a bad week, several weeks or years, is just going to put a cherry on top today. There were bruises on this child's body. They're thinking, hours before they believe he passed away. People are absolutely pissed off hearing that Chad Daybell took this child into a room alone. And when he comes out of this room, Chad Daybell has a red neck. And guys, I'm very scared to say this, but the examiners involved with this case, I really have questions about. I really have questions about the entire case and how it was investigated, to be honest. I think Alex Cox's examination should have been done by several other people. I think anybody that was outside of this area should have brought in someone to examine, these people. But can't do that. I know this. But God, I wish they could have. And I know you do too, because something isn't right. Something hasn't been right with this case since Charles Vallow. Actually, Joseph Ryan. Something is just so off. How the heck did Lori Vallow ever get this far doing the things that she's done? Share below your thoughts on that as well. Here's the thing. What is Lori doing in trial? According to Nate Eaton, he tweeted that she is not looking up from her notebook very often today. She's just looking down and writing in that notebook. I often wondered how this would affect Chad Daybell, his trial coming later. I believe it will give them a bit of an upper hand. I guess we'll see. But right now, it appears that they're trying to put all the blame on Alex Cox and Chad Daybell and not enough on Lori Vallow. She is the mother of those children. She is 100% responsible for their demise. right? All right, guys, I'm gonna go for right now. I've got to cook dinner and do some things, and I hope you guys are holding up better than a lot of a lot of people are holding up. This is just so sad and devastating for so many of you following this case, and I'm so sorry, guys. Anyways, don't forget about some of these faces we have missing, like Jasmine Robinson and Dulce. Could you please share their face today on your social media? I would appreciate that so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you can, and I'll see you guys soon.